Alright, so yesterday for April Fool's Day, I made a joke video talking about Hello Kitty collaborating with Pokemon Go. And the responses were actually quite surprising. There was actually a lot of people who were disappointed that this was an April Fool's Day prank. But it really got me thinking, what if Pokemon Go had collaborated with other franchises over the years? And that's precisely what I want to talk about, and that's going to be the purpose of this video. I'm going to be talking about the prospects of Pokemon Go collaborating with non-Pokemon franchises. Alright, what's happening everyone? Jinsula here with a brand new Pokemon Go video. I hope your day is going really well, and let's get right into it. So today I want to talk about collaborations, and it's really because of the video that I made yesterday. It really got the ball rolling in terms of me thinking about Pokemon Go collaborating with non-Pokemon properties. And I think the only time we've ever seen this was during the One Piece 22nd anniversary celebration. They actually released a costume Pikachu where he was wearing Luffy's hat. It was a straw hat Pikachu, and it definitely generated a lot of hype. That was a crossover that actually surprised me because I am a huge fan of One Piece, and of course I'm also a huge fan of Pokemon, so it was kind of like a dream come true seeing the crossover between two different franchises that I've always grown up to enjoy. But yeah, it got me thinking, what if Niantic were to have done that a lot more frequently over the years? Because aside from that one collaboration and a couple of collaborations here and there with different clothing brands over the years, like, we've never seen them ever do any kind of crossovers with other franchises. There's so much potential there for Niantic to do some really cool things, but they just never decide to do that. And I'm wondering if a lot of that has to do with the Pokemon Company, considering that the Pokemon Company has a lot of creative control when it comes to the Pokemon IP, so I would assume that they would want to keep it pure. And for any kind of collaboration, they would probably have one of the strictest rules and standards for what could be a part of a Pokemon collab, but I think there's a lot of potential there. And maybe with Scopely Inc., when they come in as the developers of Pokemon Go, maybe they could put some pressure on the Pokemon Company to actually have a lot more crossovers. Like, some of the properties that Scopely Inc. works with is Marvel games, like Disney games, I believe. They create a lot of different titles for Marvel. Maybe they could do a Marvel crossover with Pokemon Go, and I think that would be very interesting. And it doesn't necessarily have to be costume Pokemon. At the very least, they could have avatar items with some of the different franchises that they could cross over with. Like, imagine if your avatar could wear a Iron Man outfit, you know, something like that. I think it would be a lot of fun, and there would definitely be people out there who would definitely raise an eyebrow to that, and it would definitely bring a lot of attention to Pokemon Go, because you never really see that. You never see any kind of crossovers unless it's fan-made content where Pokemon would actually cross over with something like Marvel. It's definitely an idea, and I definitely think it's something that Scopely Inc. could potentially explore. But again, it's going to be up to the Pokemon Company. I do know that when it comes to Japan, they have a very strict culture when it comes to copyright. I mean, we've seen that already with the release of Pal World and the amount of grief that the Pokemon Company was giving that game. I really do not know what they could do, but maybe it's something that they could explore. I think it would be a lot of fun. But yeah, I really do think that if a game company were to cross over with other franchises, it always produces a lot of success. I mean, there is a huge track record for it. I mean, we've seen it with Epic Games. When they cross over Fortnite with other franchises, it usually ends up bringing a lot of hype and a lot of attention to Fortnite. And when it comes to even like K-pop, like, we see a lot of different franchises collaborate with K-pop. That always produces a lot of very positive results. I think actually the Pokemon Company collaborated with a K-pop group at one point, and they never did anything with that within Pokemon Go, and I thought that was a huge missed opportunity. In case you didn't know, they collaborated with aespa, which is a major K-pop group. I actually went to the aespa concert, and I think the most that they did with aespa was shoot a couple of commercials, one for Pokemon Go, and they also had aespa sing they had aespa create the theme song for the Pokemon anime. And aside from that, we did not see anything. There was nothing in Pokemon Go. There was no avatar items. There was no, I don't know, Pikachu with aespa merch. Like, I think that would have been really fun. I know I'm a big K-pop stan, so naturally I tend to have a lot of bias towards stuff like that, but at the same time, I think that was a huge missed opportunity because the fandom for K-pop is massive. And can you imagine a lot of that K-pop fandom going to the Pokemon franchise or to Pokemon Go? I think there was a lot of revenue that they could have had from that. I know some players will be very much against that. I know there's definitely a lot of Pokemon purists out there. They just do not like to see any kind of collaborations or crossovers. They just want Pokemon to be its own thing. And I totally understand that. A lot of people out there, if they really like a particular franchise, they just want to focus in on that franchise. They do not want any other franchise to bleed into their own franchise. They just want to keep things separate. And sometimes that doesn't always necessarily is the best marketing practice. So yeah, I don't know. It's really going to be up to Scopely, and it's going to be up to the Pokemon Company. It's definitely a missed opportunity that Niantic did not do it enough, and maybe that's just purely because of the Pokemon Company, but who knows. Maybe they'll ease off a little bit once Scopely Inc. takes over, because they're gonna see that, hey, there is a lot of potential for them to make a lot of revenue. And maybe that is true, maybe it's not. I really do not know. But at the very least, this was fun to talk about. I think it's very interesting, the concept of Pokemon Go crossing over with other franchises. If they were to have ever done like a Hello Kitty crossover, I guarantee you it would have been really popular. And the proof is in the comments section of that fake video that I made. There was so many people who really want to see that, and that was actually kind of surprising for me. But at the same time, I totally understand it. But in any case, that's going to be it for this discussion. Definitely share your thoughts down below. Do you feel like more collaborations would be helpful for this game? And would you get excited for them to collaborate with a different franchise? Definitely share what those franchises are, and yeah, let's have a great discussion. And also share your thoughts if you disagree with me. I would like to know your reasons why. And thank you so much for making it all the way to the end of this video. I really hope you enjoyed it and found it to be insightful and enjoyable. If you did, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe if it's your first time here. And don't forget that notification bell so you can stay up to date on whenever I upload videos. And real quick, let me give a shout out to every single one of my Patreon members. You make this channel content possible. If you want to support the Jinsula channel, the absolute best way you could do that is by joining my Patreon. And if you become a paid Patreon member, I will give you the perk of being a permanent spot of my in-game Pokemon Go friends list. Wow, I can't talk right now. So that means for stuff like remote raids, the friendship system, opening and sending gifts, different things like that. If you want to play Pokemon Go with me, then definitely go and check out my Patreon. And if you want to support my channel in a completely different way, you're always welcome to do so by following me on social media. My handle is @Jinsula. I'm on the platforms that you see on the bottom of your screen. Make sure you go over there and give me a follow, and that will be a huge help to my channel, and you'll have access to some exclusive content. And you'll also be able to catch up with my daily life. And that's going to be it for this video. I'm Jinsula. Be safe, have fun, and love yourself today, and I'll catch you in the next one.